How's it going, welders on YouTube? So today I want to tackle a question that I get from a lot of welders, and that is, do I need to go to school for welding? And the short answer is no, you don't need to go to school to learn welding, but you probably should. Now, a good example of why you should go to school comes from the last job that I worked here in Texas. I worked at a company called AC Horn in Dallas, and I ran into a guy there, I was talking about titanium, and he was like, oh, I've welded titanium before. And I knew in my mind he hadn't, and I asked him one simple question. What color does titanium turn when it oxidizes? The answer is green, but he had no idea, and called him on his bullshit. Hey, you said you knew how to weld titanium, but I can tell just from one question that you are full of shit. And in my limited experience in welding, I've had about 35 different jobs in 3 different states. And let me tell you, everybody knows how to weld. It's kind of annoying. So nobody really believes you when you say you know how to do something. Another example is I was at Harbor Freight one day, and I ran into somebody there, a cashier, that said he knew how to weld. And my response to him was, if you knew how to weld, you wouldn't be working here. Now, can you learn without going to school? Well, look at this piano in front of me. I can learn this without going to school, but if I want to become one of the greats, like say Mozart, for example, no, I'm going to need what is called a mentor. And Mozart's father actually taught him how to play piano and read music. Now, when I learned how to weld, I went to Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and my first teacher was terrible. Absolutely horrible. So going to school doesn't necessarily mean you're going to find a good mentor. Another example of schools in welding is I used to teach at the College of Southern Nevada, and the tenured professor at that school, not a good teacher at all. He basically told students to go learn on YouTube, which was nuts because it's like, well, hey, what are we paying you for? So without further ado, I want to introduce you to my mentor. She is currently an instructor at Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and if I hadn't run into her, my career in welding would have been very, very, very different. I don't think I'd be welding right now. But without further ado, let me introduce you to Miss Lisa Legohn.
We started out in LA.
We're going to our first interview today.
Lisa Legohn is a world-renowned welder.
She is a professional welder / teacher.
She let us weld. It was pretty crazy. I was kind of nervous at first. I've never done any welding, but she fired up the torch and let us have at it.
Fire in a hole. I was curious. I didn't know what welding was. When I took the class in high school, I fell in love with welding. I think everybody should know how to weld. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you like weld?
So we're all in our early 20s, and I am still trying to figure out where I belong. And I was wondering, what certificates, what college did you go to get to the point you are? Or did you not take that route, just started jumping in the field?
I went to Hollywood High, and they offered a regional occupational program at the Watts Skills Center on Saturdays. And I was reading everything they offered, and I saw welding, and I didn't know what welding was. But what captivated me is the instructor came out, and he said, welding is the art of fusion. And I was captivated. Didn't have a clue what fusion was, but his presentation just captivated me. Welding is the art of fusion. That was it. Struck the arc and fell in love. I could take something so small, 1/8 of an inch, and it could hold 70,000 pounds per square inch if I welded that electrode correctly.
How difficult is it to get started in this type of work?
I don't think it's difficult. First, I would say graduate high school. Now, if you didn't, try to get your GED. Even if you don't have a high school diploma, you can still enter into a community college and give it a try. Take a class, take a course. The average age welder in America, they say, is 52. So the industry has to be replenished. You don't have to feel like you're the failure because you don't want to go to a 4-year university. Even if you go to a trade school, you are still being what? Educated. Closer to the metal.
I actually really enjoyed it. She gave us a little bit more instruction once we started.
Making a circle about the size of a pinhead. There you go.
And saw like huge improvement.
All right there. So look at the difference. Here's the first time, and just in a matter of what? Seconds.
What advice would you give people who are still looking for their passion to keep an eye out for while they're still learning?
You have to explore in order to really find out what you like. But don't let opportunities pass you by. They're not gonna always come and knock on a door. You have to go look. Put effort into taking care of you, being the best you. Invest in you, because if you never make any deposits, what's gonna be in your bank account? 0 empty head, 0 empty heart, 0 no money. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is who? 0. Why should society invest in you if you want to be 0? You can do that all by yourself. That's what I tell my daughter, because guess what? My mom told me that. You can be nothing by yourself. Now, if you want to be something, come to work. Call some of the numbers. Can I take a tour? Can I come over and see what this is about? Go and look, go and observe. And if it sparks you, find a class and try it. So it's about wanting, knowing, and preparing yourself to get that prize or to get that dream.
Now, I just want to correct the record on that PBS video. Miss Legohn was actually, she helped build multiple world records, not just one. Now, as we can see in this photo, that was from the TV show Big. She was on that show for an entire season, all 13 episodes. And I think 3 or 4 of the episodes actually yielded world records. So that was the world's largest blender. And there goes, let's see, the information on the Guinness World Records site where she's listed by name. And unfortunately, not all the records have all the builders' names listed. Here's another one, the world's largest barbecue, and that was also on the Discovery Channel show Big, the first season only. And another world record, largest popcorn machine, also on the show Big as well. But Miss Legohn was also on another really popular Discovery Channel show, and that was Monsters Garage, where she got to work with one of the many great builders, one of which was Jesse James. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips from Monsters Garage.
It was designed and constructed in 2004 on the set of Big, a television series produced for the Discovery Channel, where everyday items were recreated on a frighteningly large scale. Wink still insists on welding by braille, but Lisa's on safety patrol. She explains that the right welding lens is key to protecting your vision.
When you strike the arc, that's why your eyes are at night, are they really tired? It's a lens, you're using the number 10, look. This right here, arc welding, 10 times bright as the sun. Increased by 11, minimal. Watch the difference in your eyes. Hey, what's up with that?
666, number of the beast. What, you didn't know I was a Satan worshiper?
I thought you was just young and a little wild. You got problems here. But we'll talk about that later. Hey, cross. X-nay this. As you know, good always triumphs. Look, he's not even here and he got it working for him.
Lisa learned welding at the tender age of 17.
The whole aura of welding, it just captivated me. How tough and dense metal was, but then with a little heat, you could shape it and twist it. Light a torch, you actually just cut this metal. It was easy as cutting a steak with a knife.
Lisa is used to being the only woman on the team. Her mother's advice has been her guide.
My mom says, Lisa, you never have to say how good you are or compete. Your work is gonna speak for itself. Let your weld be your signature. I do love welding.
And weighing in for the red team, queen of the welding torch, Lisa Legohn. Squirrel face, Dwayne Youngin. Mike, I can build anything, Stapleton. Demolition Derby Dame, Cindy Reginbald. NASCAR engineer, John Babick. And with a weld in his eye, Wink Eller.
This is the best Slayer concert ever.
You gotta be kidding me! Wink just took out half the audience!
All right, we're back, and I hope you guys really enjoyed that last clip from Monsters Garage, especially with the Scion almost taking out the audience. It's really, really funny. You see, back in the day, the Discovery Channel, I guess, was a little bit more like the Wild Wild West, and things happened on their show. People almost died. But in closing, I would want to say is, as a welder, you need to be very, very, very careful about who you take advice from and who you learn from. You know, right now, a lot of us are learning from YouTubers, you know, Alex Steele, Welding Tips and Tricks, Jody, Weld.com. All of those guys are okay. And I'm saying that they're okay because I've learned from one of the best in the world. Check her world records. I don't think any of the other YouTubers out there have a world record to speak of. And on top of it, you know, builders like Miss Legohn and others who are featured on the Discovery Channel show Monsters Garage and old school builders, they were the original content creators. What we have now, in my opinion, are cheap imitations. You know, guys that are better with a camera and how to create entertainment for you to watch on YouTube versus people that were actual builders. Now, if you watch Monsters Garage, none of those people know how to operate cameras and film equipment. They just build things for a living. So with that said, that's the end of the video, and definitely check out my Rumble channel. I'm uploading all 3 seasons of Monsters Garage to my Rumble channel in full. I obviously can't do that on YouTube because they'll get taken down for copyright purposes, but on Rumble I can put the entire episodes there. Now, what you learn from those episodes of Monsters Garage versus the cookies cutter stuff that we see on YouTube from fake YouTube welding creators and blah, 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 is that Monsters Garage, you know, they have deadlines, they have budgets. You know, they show you the nitty-gritty of making phone calls and trying to, you know, figure out where parts are and all that stuff that you don't see on YouTubers' channels today. But aside from that, glad to have introduced you to Miss Legohn. Oh, and if you're in Southern California, near the Los Angeles area, go take courses at LA Trade Tech. You won't regret it. You'll learn from one of the best in the world. Peace.